Try to guess me up, still I rise. Wanna see me fall, but I still touch skies. Had enough, call you bluff. Try to fill me up with the same old lies.
I'm mindful of it all, I got a mind full of it all. I'ma rise when I fall, and I'ma ride for my dogs. And people say they want the best for me. I'm only moved by integrity. A lot of pastors think they're really celebrities. Gotta rise from me, do the math and divide from me. And you can ride the waves, but don't trip when the tide's coming. Gas me up if you want, I'm on the road to riches. How you expecting to stunt when your soul is missing?
Sorry, came right from the shop. I'm still completely filthy.
Look at that.
Who's eating off the floor?
Yeah, I was.
We'll talk about this in a bit.
Try to fill me up with the same old lies.
Just like helium.
Open up.
You can hear it. Awesome. You're not supposed to hear us. Not yet.
Call your bluff. Try to fill me up with the same old lies.
Yeah, couldn't wait on you, that's why I ran with vision. Took the hate you gave and made it ammunition. Had no time to play, I can't afford to scrimmage. The Lord is with them, I'm sorta lifted, can't soar with pitches. Yeah, people come and go like the seasons. God, I got your heart from the treason. Don't let them fill you up with the fiction. I'm just hoping that you listen.
Try to guess me up.
Hey, we're here. Hey,
hello.
What's up?
Yeah.
All right, now you can hear us.
There we go.
No sound now.
And now you can hear us when we want you to hear us.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Hopefully there's.
Can you guys hear us? Hopefully.
Yeah.
Boom. All right, we're back. Flex Friday Live. As you can see, we don't have Casey here. We have Paul from Epic.
I'm Casey 2.0.
I was gonna say, Casey, you look different.
Yeah, it's Casey
Yeah.
350.
Different haircut, different things going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all good.
So Casey is busy with work, so he's not able to join us. So we asked Paul to join in and come hang out. It's been a while since we've done one of these, so
Absolutely.
I just really wanted to do one. I guess there's a couple of things we'll just address right off the bat. First of all, we're on obviously we're on the Story Till Now channel here doing this today, not on the Flex Friday live channel that we started. And basically the reason is we started that channel with the intention of continuing to do this every week and grow that channel into its kind of own thing. And we haven't done it in months, and I just figured since it's been so long, we'll just get on here and then we can hang out with more people and kind of figure out what's gonna happen next. I don't know. Maybe we'll relaunch this thing as a weekly show again. We'll see how it goes. How are you guys? What's
Coming
up,
into
Clint?
winter, I think that's a good idea to start going back weekly or bi-weekly or whatever.
Yeah,
because less free time. It's not light out in the evening. There's nothing better to do but sitting here and talk to my friends.
Light.
And
you crazy
yeah, that's what I mean.
different time zone.
I'm saying coming in the winter, it's a good idea. Right now it's dark. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to get
Or
in
light. Sorry.
doing this more often again. It's just been hard. We've all been so busy, and it's just been a struggle to put the energy and time into doing this as opposed to making videos, which takes up more and more time all the time.
I literally came in from my shop like 2 minutes before the show started. I'm completely filthy still.
Awesome. Well, that's because
we're busy. We're making it work though.
Were you rolling on the floor in the dirt garage?
Yeah, ish. I was earlier. I had to reseal my oil pan, so I got just covered in oil earlier.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, at the top here, I'd just like to address the dirt garage if I can. I drove all the way to Cranbrook. It's a friggin' long drive to Cranbrook. For those of you who don't know, it's like a whole day. I get there. I see Clint. He takes me inside the dirt garage, and it's actually a cement floor. So I was floored.
Oh,
just putting that out there.
Good
It's
one,
not
Paul.
a dirt floor.
Good one.
I thought it was a dirt floor. Everybody's telling me it's a dirt floor. It's not a dirt floor.
You've been lied to, I guess.
I think Clint lives on the throne of lies. I'm just going to say that.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
No, it's
Listen here.
it's actually pretty cool to, because we watch your video so much, and to just go into your place where you actually do work. It's actually a bit bigger than I thought it was. I don't know
Yeah.
why. I think in film it looks really tight in there
Should
with
have
you
seen it
squeezing
with,
trucks.
with
So
a truck in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when it
Yeah.
looks tight.
But,
And I mean,
yeah.
you also saw it after the renovations I did in like just after the fire. So I had a ton of videos in there when it was way smaller even. So
Yeah, pretty much once a quarter, Clint has a car fire inside the garage just to
Once
renew
a quarter.
just to blow it out and renew it.
so once
That's
in
what we're left
ever.
Oh man!
Awesome.
Anyways, I just Clint, thanks for having us when we're up there
Yep,
earlier
no worries.
this summer. Really appreciated seeing you and Corey and seeing the dirt garage, and maybe
Thank
tell
you.
us what happened to your truck with the frame. And I'm
Yeah.
sure you've got that fixed by now.
Oh yeah, it's fixed.
Yeah.
It's back together. Yeah, the front cross member ripped off the frame.
Yeah. So
Which
if you
wasn't that ideal.
Sorry, I didn't mean
It's
to
all-
interrupt
it's
you
all
there.
good.
I was just gonna say, if you saw my video from this morning, Clint was there, but you might have noticed his truck wasn't there, and that's
It was
because
absent.
we got out there, and shortly before we arrived, he discovered that his frame was it a crack or
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
completely broken. It was
Completely
broken. Like the
broken.
one frame rail was completely separated on the one side on the cross member.
Yes.
And the cross
No
member
good.
was that much lower than the actual frame.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, figured that out 2 days before you guys arrived. So that was awesome.
Cool. So how'd you fix it in the end? Did you just pull everything away from it and just weld it back up, or
Pretty
what'd you do?
much, yeah.
Okay.
Put it back up where it needs to be, welded it together, and then it's got gussets and it's got like a strap along the bottom that's all welded around too. So it's
Right.
It should be stronger than it actually was before. So
excellent.
yeah,
Cool.
and that's only temporary because I'm going 3-link in the near future as well. So that whole front cross member
Okay.
is no longer going to be structural or
Right.
be holding the weight of the suspension. So yeah.
Right. Cool, man. Well, I'm glad you got it fixed.
Mhm.
Yeah. I have yet to actually go wheeling with you with your truck.
I know, I'm sorry.
Just want to put that out there.
I know.
Yeah.
Chef John said he was
You don't have your
disappointed this
truck,
morning
so.
in the premiere too.
We were looking forward to it too because you got the V8 now.
Yeah.
So and then
Yeah.
when you brought it down here, we didn't get to really do too much wheeling, just a little bit.
Yeah, I know it sucks.
But anyway, we should really talk about the story that I'm excited to hear, which is
Yes, I heard about this. I'm
Clint
excited to
almost
hear
got
about it.
eaten by a grizzly bear. So Clint,
It
I
was a
see.
grizzly?
That's
Holy
the
shit.
title.
take it away.
It's in the title. Talk
I
about
didn't
it.
even notice that until
It's
just
not. It's
now.
not even clickbait. Tell us.
Actually,
Tell
real.
us what went down.
Okay, so we went up Bruce Creek Trail. You've been there. Beautiful spot. It's
Yep.
very whipsaw like. It's beautiful the whole way through. It's kind of challenging in spots too. It's a really fun trail, and it ends up at this alpine lake at a really old mine site.
Yep.
It's very long forgotten. There's like no mine shafts left. The whole side of that mountain is very unstable. But yeah, so we parked there. We actually met with a ton of other people. I didn't expect to see people there, but there was another like probably 8 or 9 rigs at the lake when we got there.
Wow.
So we talked with them for a bit, and then they left. So we set up my tent. I flipped open my rooftop tent, got all ready to go. It was about probably 4:30 in the evening, late afternoon, and me and Corey were like, "Hey,
Okay.
let's go for a little hike," because you look up. There's a couple old switchbacks that it's not drivable, but it's hikeable. See what
Right.
we could see. They look like there was an ice cave at the top. So what we did is we went for this walk. It was probably a kilometer over 500 meters to the top, I would say. Probably actually more than that.
You hiked.
Yeah, we
500
go all the way
meters up.
What?
You hiked 500 meters up.
Maybe not that. I'm saying like this walking distance, not
Okay.
like up. I
Just
don't
to
actually
be
know.
clear, Sean, people can actually walk 500 meters. Just want-
Speak for yourselves, guys.
people do it.
So yeah, we walked up. We got all the way up. Corey decided to go up further. than I did because it just got really sketchy at the top, crawling over ice and stuff. So yeah, we saw that. Then we came back down. We started walking back down the mountain where we came from. And I look just up from us, like 25, 30 feet away, and there's a grizzly bear standing there watching us. And as soon as we notice and I point him out, he starts charging at us, which was the scariest moment in my life.
No doubt.
So we both just fight or flight instinct kicked in, and we booked it straight down the mountain. We didn't walk down the roads. We went straight down
the road,
going mock chicken down the shale way faster than you would think a human being could probably go down something like that. And luckily, we got near the bottom and we finally looked back, and the bear stopped its charge and was just sitting there watching us. I mean, we didn't stop running. We ran all the way to the trucks as fast as we can, and the bear just stood there watching us this whole time.
You idiots. That's the bear.
Luckily, Corey did bring a gun, but it was in the truck. It wasn't with us.
Right.
So what he did, he let off a couple shots just to let him know that, or to try to scare him away, right? And the guy, the bugger just stood there waiting.
That's crazy.
He went down to the water, got a drink, and is just watching us on the other side of the lake. So we packed up camp and moved to a different spot.
Wow. The thing is, that's a narrow valley too.
That is such a narrow valley. Yeah. We went.
So he didn't really have a lot of area to go to anyways.
No, he didn't. It was just up and down that valley.
That's crazy. I've never seen a grizzly bear in person before. It's something that I've always wanted to see, just not outside of my truck.
Yeah, exactly. And I've encountered lots of brown black bears before, and normally they're way more afraid, and as soon as you run into them, as soon as they notice you, they're buggering off. I've never had a bear stand their ground and actually come at us because we're, I guess, in their territory.
Wow.
That's
we're alive.
Well, I'm glad you didn't get eaten by a grizzly bear, and you have a good story to tell, at least.
Yeah, I know.
Mock chicken, yes.
Oh yeah, down.
That's one way to describe it. Yeah, and, must have been flying. That's a steep hill too. If you're going straight down that,
steep shale hill. Yeah.
I'm surprised you guys didn't endo. Wow.
Yeah, I was going pretty fast.
That's
Corey
crazy.
was worried because I was definitely faster. He was convinced he was the one that was getting eaten.
I really want to go up there again, but you were saying that the trail's not hard anymore?
Yeah, that trail is now a highway. A lot of the massive boulders have been moved. A lot of the obstacles have been shoveled in and made significantly more accessible.
Bummer.
Yeah, because I mean, it was sketchy to get the trail wrecker in there that one time.
Yeah.
But now when we were down there, there was a full-size Dodge Ram and a Toyota Tundra down there.
Oh, really?
So it's like, yeah.
Crazy.
It's super easy. That spot that was really sketchy where the road slid that we dug out, somebody spent many hours in that spot and made it way wider and built up the bottom, and now it's not even a little bit sketchy going through that anymore.
Honestly, that's the only part that I'm okay with not being sketchy anymore.
Yeah, me too.
That spot was
that.
terrible, but it's a shame about the rock crawly parts. That's the kind of trail though. I think with weather and whatnot, it'll by next year it'll probably be messed up again.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of people that like that trail now. So I think like even when we were coming up, there's a group of side-by-sides that passed us who had a bunch of shovels and chainsaws, and they're like, oh, we're just up here to do trail maintenance. And then we got to the end, and they were there, and like, we were surprised how wide this is now. We didn't have to do any bit of maintenance. It was so so good, the road now. So
well, you got to go one more valley over then.
Yeah.
The valley to the west there, one more over.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it, but that one is actually really good too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't been in there in a long, long time.
You can drive in there?
Yeah, you can. Well, last time I was there was like 15, 16 years ago. Law Creek. Yeah, you can get over the next valley there, and it used to be awesome as well, just like Bruce. Nowhere near the vegetation that Bruce Creek has. Yeah, and then over from that's McDonald Creek and like all the different ones that are over. But yeah, it's too bad. It's really too bad that.
Yeah. Well, speaking of epic locations, shout out to all you guys who signed the petition for Rady Creek from my video last week. We are at over 7,000 signatures now. It was around 3,000 a week ago. So, who knows how much that's going to help, but I'm, anything we can do the better. That place is awesome, and I really want to go back. It kind of sucks that.
They're definitely one of the coolest places I've been to in British Columbia. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just noticed Corey's in the chat.
Yes, he is. As is your wife, Mrs. Dirt Garage.
Which one of you was fastest? And I'm assuming it was
Terry,
replying.
yes.
It was him.
Yeah.
How's everybody in the chat doing? Did everybody get out and go on some adventures this weekend? I didn't do anything this weekend. What about? Oh, you went. Was that this weekend? You almost got attacked by the grizzly bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Paul,
fresh in your mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Paul, you do anything this weekend, or are you just working?
No, we're just trying to recover from the weekend prior. I hit a cross stitch. That cross stitch I hit way too fast. Yeah, I've got some problems with my front diff now, I think. It's definitely bent a little. Like it's definitely smiley faced on me a little bit.
Ooh.
But the casting on the front axle disconnect is by the weld plugs is starting to crack. So I'm just keeping my eye on it to see what it's like. My concern is that the whole axle will crater because I'm not going to start driving slower. I love to drive my truck. I love to drive my truck. So I don't know. We'll see. Either I upgrade it or just try to find a used one, probably a used axle housing.
You're just going to bend it again.
Yeah,
Just
I
get the upgrade.
Yeah, I should just do the upgrade, either with a Terraflex or a Dana or something like that. Just basically replace it so I get something stronger. But
is there no like sort of weld-on gussets or bracing for
yeah,
those?
you could, but now it's already bent though. That's
yeah.
the
No,
thing.
I mean
So,
if you get a junkyard,
but in the
axle or
future,
something.
in the future, like Artec makes weld-on gussets and stuff.
Yeah.
I've got one
you have to
sitting
weld
here
onto the cast pieces and everything. But
in my garage.
yes, yeah,
A truss and all the.
yeah. So I don't know.
stuff.
We'll see, but. So I was just kind of taking stock of that and cleaning up because I haven't cleaned the truck in a while, but I'm sure we'll head out somewhere next weekend here.
Cool.
This is kind of the time, right, where you can get to places and it's not snowy. Like most people that don't live here don't understand. We pretty much have from like June to end of September. So you kind of have those 4 months where you can really get to places.
To get to the really high places, it's more like just July and August.
Yeah, July
Sometimes
and August.
just August. Yeah. Like where we were in today's video. Like that's basically, I'm pretty sure that's August only. Maybe late July if you're lucky, but there was still snow up there.
Casey's in the chat.
Hi, Casey.
Thought you were busy.
Casey.
He's making dinner, he said.
Yeah.
I took your place. Hope that's okay. How was that glacier, eh, Sean? Like in your video this morning? That glacier is pretty cool.
That's one of the coolest things we've done this year, I think.
Clint, you've been there. If you've been there, obviously way in the past. How much is that melting over time?
A lot.
Okay.
I said when I was a kid, it used to go way higher than
Really?
where it's at there. So it's hard to explain.
You can see it.
Yeah,
When you're looking at the rocks, you can see all the lines from the glacier, and they go all the way to the top of the mountain. So that that lake probably wasn't even there. It was just covered in ice.
All glacier.
And it was the same at at the second location there as well. You can see the glacier lines all the way up, and a lot of the rocks that are there. They're actually really cool. I went for a hike up the side of the mountain for a bathroom run, and while I was up there, I was looking at all these rocks that were under glacier. So they had all the lines from where the glacier had rubbed against them, even the small ones on the ground. I thought about bringing one home to put on my desk. They look cool.
Very cool.
Yeah,
it's weird when you're floating out there and you see it from across the lake and it looks not that big, and then we floated over to it.
Yeah, once you get there, it's way bigger.
It's got to be like 50 feet tall. Like it's just huge, right? It's quite something just to be inside it.
Yeah, it's not a tiny lake by any means.
No,
it's kind of deceiving standing at the far end.
Yeah, well, and it doesn't necessarily translate so well on the video, but that bowl is really high.
Oh, it's huge.
Like
it's
if
tall.
you look up, it's way up there.
And it's falling apart.
By the way, Paul, how are you feeling?
Down a piece of it.
I went to just get like a handful of it.
How are you feeling?
Are you feeling okay?
Oh my gosh.
From your prehistoric illness?
Yeah.
Have your arms started shrinking to T-Rex proportions yet?
Not yet, but as I said, I had dry mouth after I ate that. I had dry mouth for about a week. It was really bad. So I started thinking, I've got some kind of ancient prehistoric bacteria in my face, but luckily, no, everything's fine. All my limbs are intact. Everything's good.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen the video yet, Paul ate a million-year-old glacier ice. So
Yes, I did. Yeah.
we're taking bets on what's going to happen to him. I sent him a link earlier about how most glaciers have ancient human poop in them.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
He sends me this link this morning, and it's actually a true scientific article. I thought it was like a joke article. It's a true scientific article how human feces are in ancient glacial flow. So I was like, all right,
Yeah.
That's actually
who knows what I
hilarious.
ate? I don't know.
What could go wrong?
I don't know.
All right, so we've got almost 100 people hanging out.
Cool.
If you're watching, say hi in the chat. If you've got any questions, feel free to throw them out, and we can definitely answer some questions. Do you still wheel or see the guy with the lifted red 92 to 96 Bronco? It's funny that you should ask, because I'm actually headed out to meet him this weekend. So he'll be in an upcoming video.
Yeah.
That's Roscoe from the Alexander Mackenzie trip last year. Great guy.
Right.
Likes his old Broncos. Cool stuff.
Are you guys still doing Alexander Mackenzie this year?
No.
Oh.
There was a big fire
Okay.
in the area.
Yeah.
So we
Had
were
to cancel.
we were supposed to head out August 14th or 15th and do it, and then we were gonna do the whole trail, but the area around Klascoil Lake, which is a really nice area, all burned down. So sounds like the wreck site was saved, so that's good news. But yeah, the first people to go through that, it's going to be a nightmare because of all the burned and fallen trees.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know, like it's hard to tell if the fire is totally out or anything. It just seems like a bad time to go. So we'll try next year maybe.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty keen to go up Estella now that it's all burnt up and see what it looks like after the fire or that's still up there now.
Yeah.
I bet it'd be a pretty cool video of the before and after kind of.
Yeah, there's we've lost quite a lot of forest area this year to fires, so which unfortunately affects a few really big trails. So one of which, I'm not going to say which on here, but one of which trails I'm going to probably try and do in the next couple of weeks here. So we'll see how that goes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So what do we got in the chat here?
What do we got here? I'm just reading.
Are you installing a supercharger? Not at this moment, I'm not, but...
Should we talk about the supercharger? I can kind of fill people in.
Yeah, sure.
There, because it's pretty cool.
The short answer to that question is yes.
Yes, soon.
We're just waiting on parts.
Yeah. So we worked directly with Rip at Epic, and we supercharged a Mojave. And so we had the first 2021 Mojave Gladiator that's been supercharged ever. And so it's been about 2 months now, just back and forth. And there's been a lot of tuning. I think we probably had 7 or 8 tunes working with them just to get it all tuned up correctly. And right now we still have a little bit of a problem with it, but oh my word. Like the thing is, I couldn't drive it daily. It's way too fast for me. It just jumps like crazy. You can scare people with it. It's quite funny when it, because the boost is only 8 to 9 pounds, it's constantly dumping air because the supercharger is obviously injecting air, is pushing air into it. The blower is injecting air into it. So it's constantly dumping air all the time. And so you can be going like 80 on the highway next to somebody and just give a little bit of gas and let off, and it'll just dump air for like 8 to 10 seconds. And it's like super loud. It just sounds so amazing. We've scared so many people with that. You're just driving beside them and just, as you're dumping air.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's truck
be
flies.
fun.
Like it absolutely flies. It's very, very fun to drive. It's what a Jeep kind of should be, I think. It's, you just have so much power and whatever, right? So yeah, we just did a run, the last couple of runs we've done with you guys, just kind of trying it out at elevation and how it reacts at elevation versus sea level, because there is a bit of a different there. So we're working with different tunes. They've sent us different pulleys, depending on what the type of driving and things that we do. And so we're just kind of going through that. And we've just done some more testing with them because we have a bit more blow by in the blower than we thought we'd have. So we're just going through that right now to figure out why that is. Yeah, so hopefully soon we'll have that figured out. And then we've got Sean's coming from RIP. Should be here in a couple of weeks, hopefully. And then we'll look at basically supercharging Sean's and doing the same thing to there. So he can also sound super angry and drive way too fast.
It's going to be insane. I can't wait.
It's a very visceral sound because it makes a nice low end growl. It's got the whine. It's got the air dumping out. It's just it's a very exciting truck to drive now, just the sounds and the power. We put an exhaust on it. So we had Corsa build us an exhaust, and we put the exhaust on it, and we decided to take it off. It just didn't sound right. Like, it took away all the excitement from the engine. So we just put the exhaust stock exhaust back on just for now, just to run it as is. But yeah, Sean's going to love it. When we do it to Sean's, it's going to absolutely change dynamics of your truck. That's for sure. But with the supercharger comes a lot more maintenance, different oil. You have to change more regularly. You got to change your blower oil. Like, there's a whole bunch of extra maintenance has to go there. The catch can, emptying that out. But for what it is, it's worth it to have like double the power of what.
What's the service schedule on that?
It's going to be a whole new
superchargers. Like, how often
animal.
do you change oil?
I don't remember, Clint, because I know it's we had to run, I think it was 1,000 kilometers for the first oil change on the blower and stuff like that. So I don't know what it's been. I know, I haven't put that much on it.
When I did the TRD one, I think it was 80,000 kilometers or something was the oil change interval for that.
No, this one's going to be way
sooner
than that. Yeah,
oh, really?
Way sooner for that. Yeah. So anyways, we've been having a good time with it. It's exciting. It's just, it kind of sucks being first sometimes when you're first, because there's been a whole bunch of programming errors and things like that. Like, we had to actually send our PCM away down to Holly in Florida. And then as we're working on the truck, we had to wait for it to come back because they had to unlock it, as opposed to the one that's coming with Sean's, for example, is just going to come with the PCM. Like, it's already come unlocked. But we just happened to have a brand new truck they'd never seen before that they had to unlock.
Right, because it's the Mojave.
It's the Mojave. But yeah, no, the truck is amazing. And then from the Mojave, and then from there, we just kind of decided that because the first suspension we did on that truck was really a spacer lift, just to maintain all the awesome Fox shocks and stuff in there. So we had to basically do a spacer lift for that. And then we decided afterwards, no, we need to have way more travel and way more flex. And so we ended up putting a proper TerraFlex suspension in there, replaced everything. And then in the rear, TerraFlex sent us their brand new extended travel rear, which moves the sway bar up top. It has a different bracketry for the rear arms that move them upwards and forwards. So now you can really have about 16 inches of droop. So now it just looks just amazing. Like, when it's flexed out, it looks like quite something. Yeah. So that's kind of where the truck sits at the moment. We're just kind of working through, and then we've got a whole decal package. Everything else is going to go on that. So you guys have obviously seen Con. There's a giant blue gorilla on it. Sean's wearing the shirt. So we're doing a whole different one. We'll unveil hopefully in a couple of weeks. We'll have a whole different creature stuck on the side of Christian's Mojave.
I can't wait for that. That's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be pretty crazy. The drawing is pretty nuts. So we'll have that done hopefully soon, and then we'll have T-shirts for that one and stuff as well for you guys to pick up.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I'm pretty excited about getting the supercharger going, and we're doing some custom powder coating and stuff on the parts. So it's gonna look really cool on the truck. And those guys have been really cool to work with so far. I don't know. Let me know if you guys would be interested in maybe having someone from RIP on a future live broadcast. Maybe they can come on and talk about some of the details if that's something you guys are interested in, because we're always trying to think of interesting people to have on as guests, even though we've had like maybe 2 guests in 15 podcasts. But it's hard to line up guests because we're always on the go here. But
cool.
Yeah. So that's what's going on with the supercharger. And yes, for the person who asked, we will be doing a video on that install. So
certainly will.
That'll be cool. There's all sorts of cool stuff going on my truck right now. We just put in a long range fuel tank, which is cool. It basically gives 77% more fuel carrying capacity, and then it has a little motor that you click on to pump fuel over into the primary tank when you run out. So it's almost doubling your fuel capacity, which is pretty cool. And the guys at Epic did a great install on that. And then we're going to be doing a full power management setup from RedArc and Discover Battery, and so that's coming up pretty soon too. And that's going to be really unique, I think. So that'll all be in upcoming videos, of course.
Yeah,
Along
the month
with,
of September. Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of changes in the month of September here.
Yeah. Everything all kind of came together at once. So a lot of these projects have been like in the works for, like the power management system's been in the works for like a year of like planning and just waiting for the components and the battery and everything. So we're doing a 200 amp hour lithium battery, which is and it's a new battery that just came out. So we're gonna have like the battery engineers come on and talk about it, and everything is gonna be really cool. What do you got going on in your truck, Clint? You got anything now that it's fixed up? What's next?
As I mentioned earlier, I plan on doing a 3-link setup in the front of my truck, ditching the leaf springs, going with links and coils. Just a much better ride quality over the long, bumpy FSRs, and you get more articulation out of it too. So, bonus.
Yeah.
The front cross member ripping off really gave me the motivation to do it, just because I've got trust issues with that part now, or that specific section now. So, whereas if I change to link and coil, all of the suspension mounts further back on the frame. So, yeah,
nice,
cool. That's hopefully sooner than later. But working out the details on that one.
Teddy's asking about your bed rack. Did you get something sorted out for your tent, or are you still running the plywood? The 2x4s?
Run the 2x4s for Meow.
It kind of
realistically, we're
kind of looks good, to be honest.
Yeah, it's only like another month and a half before we're into the snow, and probably won't be running it through the winter. I won't be using it.
Yeah.
So I'd just be weathering it out, keeping it on the back through the winter.
Right.
So,
you're not going to camp in the winter?
No, that's too cold.
What?
We get
gotta come camping in the winter, man. Winter camping's awesome,
dude.
Minus 30, minus 40 winter camping is not good.
Yeah. No, that's
really
not good.
Cold here.
You gotta come out here. Well, you go snow wheeling all winter.
Your guys is at neck of the woods. Absolutely, you don't get as cold as we do. But,
I don't know if I could do. I don't know if I could do negative 30, man. That might be
that gets negative 30 like every night.
So the coldest trip I did was minus 14 up at Greenstone Fire Lookout.
Yeah.
And there's a video on that one. It's Deep Into the Ice, I think it's called. And we got up there in the dark. It was minus 14. Everything inside the fire lookout was sparkling because there's like a layer of ice. The only reason we didn't die is because there's a wood stove in there, and we got it so hot that it woke me up in the middle of the night because my sleeping bag was hot to the touch. I couldn't touch it.
When we woke up on the weekend, when we did Bruce, it was the same thing. Everything was sparkly. Everything was covered with a layer of ice. It already got below freezing.
Yeah, that was
that was so cold.
That was definitely too cold for me, but it made for an interesting adventure. It's probably one of my more memorable ones from the winter. Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah. So, what else we got going on here in the chat? Any questions?
Any trips to the USA planned? As soon as the border opens for us.
Yeah.
I find a lot of Americans don't understand that we actually cannot go into the US. We cannot drive across the line, yet Americans can drive into Canada.
Do you think that's because we live close to the border? And
I guess so. I don't know.
I think so. In Canada, most of the main cities aren't that far from the border, right?
Everybody's like an hour to the border.
Yeah,
right?
but in the U.S., there's a lot of people who aren't very close to the border. So I don't know if maybe they're just not paying attention to that because they would never drive across the border anyway. But yeah.
So trust us, if the border was open, we would drive across the day of. We would be down there.
Me too.
We would already be down there. The weather is...
I spend a month or more down in the States, throughout the year. I'm always down there. So this has been really odd for me. It's been 18 months now since I haven't been to Death Valley, Nevada, Moab, Arizona. Yeah, well, it's odd for me because basically since my channel has been I don't know what the word is, popular. I haven't been able to go to the US. Feels weird to say. I don't know if it's the right word, but I haven't been able to go down and do any videos in the US when there's so many trails I want to go do. So it's really weird for me because COVID kind of messed that all up like right away. Yeah.
So hopefully, yeah, once the border opens, I mean, it basically here in Lower Mainland of British Columbia, from the 1st of September, basically the weather goes to trash and it just starts
Yeah.
raining every day until spring, and like it's already happening. So, sigh.
You know,
It's depressing to think
it
about.
was October 2019 when we went all the way down to Anza Borrego, down near the Mexican border there in California. That was an amazing trip. Had so much fun through Mojave and everything. But it's hard to believe that was October 2019. It was a while ago now.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Clint, you went down to Moab like in 2019 too, right?
Yep, 2018,
Yeah, we go every year.
I go every year when we can.
See, I've never been to
Every
Moab.
year. Yeah.
I've never been on the Rubicon. I've never even wheeled outside of Canada, really. Oh,
We have to
that's
get you
not
on
true.
some of these places.
That's not true. I did do a road trip in my old Jeep where we did some like light wheeling near the Grand Canyon, but that's about it. Nothing,
Yeah.
no big trails or anything. So, but they've just recently announced the border is staying closed for Canadians, even though it's open for Americans, which is garbage. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. So I don't know. Like I really want to go spend a lot of the winter down south where it's warmer and I can make better videos. But we'll see.
I don't know. Hopefully soon. Hopefully it opens up this fall. That
I
would be great.
particularly want to go with Paul because he knows where all the cool stuff is.
Well, every year we're in Death Valley. Every year we go to Death Valley, we go to Moab. Nevada is amazing. I have so many places in Nevada. I actually have an area, I call it the Area 51 tour. It takes you along the exact border of the Area 51. And the goal every time is to try and get buzzed by Black Hawk helicopters. That's the goal every time. So,
Which has happened
I'm
to
about
Paul.
2 for 3 right now. So, so it's just you just basically go around the outside, and there's places that you can actually go up to and almost drive to, or you can sit at the weather station and you can actually see Area 51 and watch it, right, and watch the planes take off and stuff. It's the last place
Sounds really safe.
So, yeah, so it's pretty cool. Nevada's got like the Black Rock Playa where Burning Man is every year. That place is amazing.
You should tell your Black Hawk helicopter story because I think people would like to hear that.
I was with the wife and kids by ourselves. No, was Maury with me? No, it was by ourselves. Yeah, I was coming back from a trip. It was by ourselves. Drove through a sort of middle of Nevada. I think it's called Walker Lake. I think. I came through the back way. And so there's all these Black Hawk helicopters just sitting out on the dirt near the lake. So we drove in between them and I was taking pictures and video of them and stuff, right? Parking my Jeep there, getting pictures next to a whole bunch of UH-60 Black Hawk helicopters. Thought this was cool. There was 12 of them. And then we decided to go to the lake and then open up and we're going to have some lunch. And over the hill came a whole bunch of the Escalades, like the blacked out Escalades came over the hills. And then all these guys jumped out with full on weapons, basically demanding that I'd hand over all my cards. So I lost all my cards. But yeah, I got into an argument with them because the sign said no loitering. It didn't say no trespassing. It said no loitering. So
you can't hang out here.
Like, yeah. So he's like, no trespassing. I'm like, well, no, the sign says no loitering. He's like, yeah, no trespassing. And so I got into a semantic argument with him on the definition of loitering versus trespassing, which didn't go well for me.
Weird.
But luckily, the one thing
that.
they didn't notice is they didn't notice the GoPro camera I had in the window that I forgot to turn off. So that was running. So I have some of the altercation basically on video, kind of off frame. You can hear a lot of the audio. It's pretty funny. But yeah, that was kind of my first thing, being told by this, looked like he was 16 with AR-15s and whatever. And just like, you need to evacuate or get out of here immediately. And so they made us pack up and get the hell out of there. So I thought, oh, okay, that's funny. Yeah, I've had that. I've also been buzzed. Actually, the October trip was fun. That was in Salton Sea, which is the biggest inland sea in California. A horrible smelling place. But I was told I can get in there just to see the old military base where they used to test bombs. They used to have a bombing range there and used to actually test bombs. And so we got access in there, but we passed a big sign that said no trespassing, Department of Defense. And it was a newer sign. And I thought, okay, I've talked to a lot of people down here. I make a lot of contacts. They said you can go in here. I'm in the right place. I'm on the right track. So I just thought no big deal. So we're in there. We're climbing all over the cool structures and stuff like that. And all of a sudden 2 Blackhawks are like circling us. And so then we're like, okay, let's get in the trucks and drive. So they buzzed us and followed us all the way out. And I think Christian thought he was going to lose his Jeep because we were driving his Jeep. I was driving his Jeep, and I'm like, take out your camera, start filming this. But he didn't want to film it because he didn't want his phone taken away. But yeah, they chased us all the way to the highway, and like they were right above us. Like kids' legs are just dangling out the side of the helicopter with the gun and just buzzing around us, these two things. And I thought for sure we were going to get pulled over, but they let us get to the highway and leave. But yeah, I've had lots of altercations with the military in the States, but yeah,
Paul loves this stuff. That would terrify me. Paul's like, that was awesome.
Oh, I was just like, cool. I'm like, take pictures, and he was, I'm not taking pictures. I'm like, oh God, take pictures. But yeah, no, we were flying out of there, the three of us, and just trying to get out of there. And then that night, because we couldn't camp or we wanted to camp, we ended up going very deep and dark into the night in Red Rock area, and there's a bombing range there, and we actually camped in the middle of the night in a bombing range. I didn't realize that was what it was, and then when we woke up in the morning, helicopters and jets are like flying over above us, like we're in an active area, just off to the side of an active area. So you're just like, oh man, we got to get out of here. But yeah, no, I've always had good interactions with some cool interactions with the armed forces down there.
Well, you haven't been shot or taken to a black site yet, so
no, I haven't been arrested yet or taken to a black site, so that's good. Yeah. But,
you'd probably like that though, if you got taken to a black
that'd be site. Super cool. Yeah, it'd be super cool. Yeah, that'd be awesome. But, no, it's definitely not when you have kids with you, but no.
Yeah, sure.
It's a cool place. And I've been, Arizona's got lots of awesome stuff. Oregon is amazing. You get to Eastern Oregon has got everything. So I'd love to take you guys to Oregon. It's just,
I want to go so bad.
Yeah. You got the Alvord Playa, you've got the Steen Mountains, which is awesome. The awesome dunes in the middle of the Christmas dunes. Yeah. You've got lots of cool places to wheel. So definitely Oregon's on my list for when we open up here.
Hey, Paul, here's a question maybe you might have an answer for. Yeah. Somebody, sorry, I always say somebody, Scott here in the chat is saying, any ideas for a front locker on a Mojave? Can't seem to find much regarding this online.
Well, the front diff on the Mojave, I was trying to think. I don't see why you couldn't just add a locker in there. So you can add just an electric locker and A or B locker in there. There's no reason why you couldn't do that.
It's the same front diff, isn't it? It just
doesn't
have a
locker.
locker.
Front diff. It's I'm trying to think now. I think it's the same front diff. The frame has obviously got the extra pieces in the Mojave. I'm just trying to think on our own Mojave here. I'm pretty sure the front diff is the same.
Yeah, so you can just get like an A or B or something.
Yeah, like it's got aluminum knuckles and stuff on it. Like there's a few differences with it, but generally it's the same diff. So it's a 44. There's no reason why you couldn't just put an A or B or something else in there.
Yeah. Maybe check with the A or B and see what they suggest. So they probably have the answer.
Yeah, it's got aluminum knuckles.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's for weight savings and fuel economy and stuff.
You would think that would bend so much easier than like your.
I haven't heard of them having any problems. Although
I just cracked my front end and everything's fine. So I don't know.
I believe there's an upgrade you can get now if you want cast ones. So
that's crazy. I've never heard of that. That's crazy.
Is it just all the Gladiators?
It's the Mojave and the EcoDiesel. Mojave and the EcoDiesel have the cast knuckles. Yeah, aluminum.
Right. And then the regular Gladiators have aluminum? Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
They have steel knuckles, the regular ones, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's there's lots of places to go when the border opens. We just can't wait for it to open, so hopefully soon.
Yeah, I can't wait. We'll get down there eventually, and then hopefully by the time we get down there, we can meet up with some of you guys. And
yeah, that'd be cool.
The world's a weird place right now, so
yeah.
What else we got going on here? Anyone else got any questions?
What other questions we got?
Let's scroll up in the chat here a little bit.
Good plan. Normally that's Casey's department. He's really good at.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep track of everything that's going on here at the same time, but it's really hard. When is your Bronco being delivered?
When is the Bronco being delivered? What's the story with the Bronco now? You've canceled one and ordered another, right? Or what's happened?
Yeah, so what happened is we ordered one from the factory, and it kept getting pushed back. Originally, we ordered it because it was supposed to be here July this year.
Right.
And then, so we're like, okay, that's perfect. July sounds great. And then it got pushed. They're like, well, it's probably going to be more like near the end of the year. And then they're like, oh, it's going to be more like spring. And then they were finally like, oh, it's going to be like end of 2022. Right. So I was like, okay. And then we went on a mission basically to just find one that was already going to be built and that we could get this year. So we went to every dealership in the Lower Mainland, and we found so the dealership right down the street from my house, not like like on the highway down the highway from my house. They had their very first order that they placed was for a Badlands with a Sasquatch package and a hardtop and the 2.7 liter motor and like all the stuff that I wanted. Right. And it's already built. It's sitting at the assembly plant. Yeah. So what's happened now is there's been a recall on all of the hardtops. So they're having problems with the hardtops leaking, making rattling noises, fading, doing all sorts of bad things. So they do not want them out in the wild. So they're refusing to ship any hardtop Broncos out until they've replaced all the hardtops. And they're not doing that until they get new hardtops to all the people who already have Broncos with hardtops, because they don't want defective ones out there in the wild where it's like bad PR for them, right? Or, warranty issues if it's leaking and they got to fix water damage and stuff, right? So they've got like thousands of Broncos just sitting at the assembly plant waiting for new roofs. So the word is there's going to be an update in September, and the roofs are expected maybe October, November-ish. Once it's got a new roof, it takes about a month to ship it here. So we're looking at most likely November or December, unless the timeline gets moved up. So hopefully I'll have more information, in the next month. But our hope is it's going to be here by the end of the year.
The leaky hardtops didn't seem to bother Jeep much.
Whatever,
I'm assuming that it's more of a leak than what you get with the Jeep hardtop. I don't know. Apparently, it's the same company that makes the Bronco hardtops and the Jeep hardtops. Oh. So I don't know what the deal is.
It's a company called Webasto. Yeah, Webasto makes hardtops for the Mazda Miata, the friggin' Jeep. They make it for everything. So yeah, I'm sure it'll get figured out. It just kind of sucks. Everybody's waiting for one. What color did you go for in the end?
I didn't have a choice because this one's already built, but it is, what is it? The dark gray color.
Okay. Yeah.
I forget what the color's called, but it's like a metallic dark gray, but it doesn't matter because we're going to wrap it right away so that it doesn't end up looking like the Trail Wrecker.
Right.
Cause I don't don't want to have two like, $100,000 vehicles that I can't sell because they're like totally trash. So we're gonna try and protect this one a little bit as best we can from getting scratches, and we'll still obviously keep taking the Gladiator for the scratchier trails, and the Bronco build will be a little bit lighter as far as that goes, and more like for family trips and stuff. But we'll still do some cool stuff with it.
One of our crew and good clients that comes with us on a lot of our trips down south just bought a TRX. So we talked him into a TRX. It took about 5 minutes to talk him into it. So so we had it last week there because we put a light in a rack and a few other things on it. But we're looking at doing larger tires and some other stuff with it. But he wants to. That'd be cool. When we go to the States, he'll be coming with us.
Oh, fun!
Especially I've been doing a Nevada trip because I want to drive that thing across the playa. It's going to be pretty crazy.
The TRX is fun to drive. Like that is.
Oh, it's a blast to drive. Yeah.
Probably the most fun vehicle I've driven. I mean, I haven't driven any like exotic sports cars or anything, but that thing, you can feel it in your soul when you step on the gas.
In your soul.
You feel it in your soul. It's so good.
Feel it, yeah.
But it's the most impractical vehicle I've ever seen. It just makes zero sense whatsoever, unless you've got money to just burn
to throw away.
Yeah. You might as well just like throw money off a cliff if you've got a TRX.
Oh, man.
Is there like 160,000 Canadian or something like that?
Around there, yeah.
And then it probably, like, if you step on the gas, you can just watch the meter go down. It's crazy.
Oh, it goes. Yeah, it definitely goes.
But it feels so good.
Yeah. Question there, is Epic a Step 22 dealer in Canada yet? So we're set up with them. The issue at the moment is they just don't have any stock.
Is that the roll bags and stuff?
Yeah, that's all. They make amazing roll bags, and like basically the flat pack boxes, like beautiful flat pack boxes as well. Yeah, so I have a toiletry kit is amazing. I have their tool roll, which is like phenomenal tool roll, like phenomenal tool roll. All the flat pack boxes I have, they have an HD version, a light version. They just make really super cool stuff. And I love their marketing. I love their team. Seems to be really good so far, but they just don't have stock. It's just like anywhere else. They can't get it to us.
Is that supply
so we
chain
haven't
issues?
bothered putting it on our website yet. Sorry?
Is that like supply chain issues because of?
Yes. Yeah. Supply chain issues. Yeah,
like everybody's
they can
having.
barely keep it in stock down there, right?
It's hard to get anything.
Yeah.
Everything's hard to get because of COVID.
Yeah, we're lucky to get 67 designs because we've been going after some of the core products that we really, really love. And so we managed to get 67 designs. That's on our website right now. So you can actually buy that in Canada. We're the exclusive Canadian dealer for 67 designs. And we sold a lot of that stuff, but it's amazing. It's the best phone mounts and device mounts that you can possibly get.
There's really not another option if you've got a Jeep for mounting stuff. I love mine.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we'll probably wrap this up pretty soon. Any last minute questions from the audience or
last minute questions, folks? What do we got?
Anything anyone wants to say? Let's do it.
Let's do it. Nope.
While we're waiting for some questions to pop up, what are you doing for your next trip, Clint? You got anything going on?
Yeah, this weekend we're going to an old abandoned border crossing. Obviously not crossing, but
an abandoned border crossing
on the Canadian side.
Yeah, there's an abandoned border crossing.
Seems like a weird thing to abandon.
It was put in a long time ago as, I think it was for the logging industry. The mill they were taking it to was like right across the border, and to take it like down to the highway back over and around, it was just a huge pain in the butt. It was actually cheaper for them to put in a temporary border crossing to go straight down to the mill than, I think something like that. But yeah, it's accessible. And apparently, from what I've heard, apparently the Canadian side is completely abandoned and super run down. But you look over at the American side, and it's like beautifully mowed and
oh really
kept up. Yeah,
cool.
The
Makes
upkeep
sense.
is
so is there
place. But yeah,
structures and stuff to explore there?
Yeah, I think so. I
cool.
haven't been there yet. I've just from what I've heard.
Maybe you'll get buzzed by Black Hawk helicopters.
Yeah, apparently there's cameras and stuff. So there's as long as you don't actually like cross.
That's cool. Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing that video because that sounds really interesting.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah,
I'd like to do Telqua this year. Can I get to Telqua Pass? Is Telqua Pass okay to do this time of year?
You got to go soon, really soon, I think, because it's gonna get snow. It's fairly high elevation. That is a wicked trail. I would do that again in a heartbeat. Okay. And it's not as sketchy crossing that huge landslide as it was when I did it. Yeah. I'm because sure now people have leveled it out a little bit. So but yeah, that is a beautiful, beautiful area.
That's probably my next trip.
Yeah. When?
I think it'll be my next trip.
Well, don't say when on the live stream, but let me know when.
Oh man.
Cool. Yeah. I think I'm pretty booked up for most of September at this point, but who knows? All right, did we get any last minute questions? When will the hats be on sale? Got to ask Casey250. Spam his email and ask him.
Yeah, come on, Casey, get those hats ready.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. I think we're gonna wrap it up. Paul, thanks for joining us. We are gonna, see if we can get something going new more regularly with the live streams here. We'll see if we can figure out a schedule and kind of reboot this thing, get it going. But thanks for coming to hang out with us. Appreciate it.
It's fun.
And I'll see all you guys at the next video. Peace.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
See you.
Cheers.